Heyo everybody, today we're going to be going over another trio review from what was my main character in the very beginning, which is a Shadow Knight Rogue Wizard. So just to display some about the classes, we're going to go into Plane of Fire and kind of show what it can do, as well as kind of go over a few different things that I've experienced with the trio. First off, the Rogue will help out the SK with its taps. The Wizard will help out the SK, making its taps critical like crazy, which in turn sucks more HP for you. So, almost unkillable. This guy only has 6 of 35 shielding, 10 of 100 avoidance, and so don't even have the augs and stuff yet for this guy to be anywhere near what people would call proficient. I have been dual wielding on this guy just to keep the dagger out, but you have the option to go with a shield. Unlike the Paladin, the SK doesn't get the AA to make the one-handed damage go through the roof like the Paladin does with a shield. So I haven't really found it super necessary to do that. I haven't got this yet, might as well. It's been a while since I played this guy. You will find that you'll end up making a ton of alts if you come over to THJ. There's just so many different trio classes to play. But you run through these with relative ease. Everybody is going to be able to pretty much do what I just did, though. So nothing super fancy there. So what we will do here is we'll run up here and we'll get our own. We'll just do respawning. The only downfall to this trio versus having like a paladin or a cleric in your bunch is that if you need the heals to stay alive, like you can't handle the engagement without only relying on your taps, and the enemy is completely resistant to that, then you're gonna have a bad time. There was a couple of dragons, or maybe just one dragon in Temple of Ashan that was that way, and it made it very difficult. Or at least back then. Obviously it's not difficult anymore, but if they give any kind of current content that was the same way, it would be very similar. All right, we're back. I had to reset the game there. So yeah, what we're gonna do is we'll just go ahead and pull. Well, we'll pull a bunch. Let's see how many we can pull over here. So the big difference between this trio and the last one I showed was the last one we were relying primarily on the bard songs to give us the ruins to pull and not take the initial damage. With this guy, we're going to try and keep Mortal Coil up, which Mortal Coil is an SK AA. That way when you kill stuff, you'll have a small percentage, I think it's like 50 or 40% or something, to get something called Mortal Coil. And it makes it to where anything that hits you actually heals you, which is really nice. And it is almost imperative to have on the large pulls. So yep, I just got Mortal Coil right there. As you can see, it's got 2 minutes and 23 seconds on it. Also very important to get the AAs that boost out your spells to make sure that it lasts as long as possible. And then I also have a breastplate here, the Rogue breastplate, that'll allow me to heal as I go, which can also be boosted up with healing items and things like that. So we're going to do very similar to what we did with the other character. We're just going to pull everything that we can, run over into the field, pull everything we can over there, all while, you know, trying to avoid the summoning creatures. This is basically what we're going to be doing. This character will repost the quite a bit more than the Bard, Cleric, Enchanter, so I've got to be kind of careful there. But all in all, we're going to be doing kind of the same thing just to show what this character is capable of. I know that you see a lot of these, or you did see a lot of the SK trios doing Dragon Necropolis there for a while, you know, pulling the whole zone, you know, etc., etc. So it's no real shock probably to see one doing it here. But yeah, using the chest plate to kind of heal up in between your pulls is imperative to me. If not, the damage will just like whittle you down. And I'm not saying that you're going to be in fear of dying or anything like that, but I've had some close encounters whenever you're not ready to hit your stuff yet, or you know you've got a massive wave coming in and you lag for some reason. Even though this game can play on a smart TV, you know, or a smart fridge or whatever it is, like you still lag when you get this many mobs in a zone. So some highlights. I was able to take down the Emperor in SS Raw without any kind of Bane weapons, just spamming health tap. You can get through most of Plane of Time with just spamming health taps. There's a lot of content that you can destroy just by spamming health taps because they do so much damage with the Wizard AAs, which is crazy. But you'll see, it's not rare for me to see, you know, 10 to 15,000 damage health taps on top of the ones that I proc from the SK AAs. So, that's just a tremendous amount of damage, especially when it's coming back to you in the form of HP, so. But as you can see, got down to 70%, just running around, gathering everything up. So we're going to heal up real fast. We're going to gather it up into a small little group. And then we are going to pop a couple of disciplines. One of them being riposte, or counterattack. And then we are going to go to work. So we'll do that. So as you can see, the lag is real. In fact, I can't even class my spells. I wonder if I lagged out the whole thing. Not good. Okay, so I broke it. But the sound you heard was the sound of tremendous amount of AAs coming in from yeah, everything's dead. There's two things left. So yeah, everything had already died. I guess it just didn't show me the stuff. Now, granted, we're already at 100 right there, but this was only at like 6%, so now it's at 32%, and that's on a plane or an Earth Embracer of Fortitude. So this guy packs a heavy punch. Most of the stuff that I just cast has like a very low, yeah. So The prolonged destruction, I don't really need that one. I don't know why I clicked it. But the frenzied and the improved twin cast, both are under 15 minutes. So you can do this basically every single time that they respawn, which is, that's a pretty powerful trio for sure. So now that we've seen that, we'll go put this guy to toes with some of the bigger guys. So let's get out of here. So counterattack, I think, is like 30 minutes. Yeah, but you've got nimble, you've got deflection, you've got a couple of different ones as well. And this isn't using a shield either, which will boost up your AC quite a bit. So let's pop over to, let's just show, yeah, we'll go ahead and show the sleeper. I know that's a big one. People tend to keep camp like on a daily basis or more with different characters to try to get those augs and stuff. So gear wise, obviously you can pretty much buy anything now on the auction house as long as it's not legendary for like 300 plat each. So you can literally get a full set of gear for like 5k or less. But the only things I recommend is I try to stay with a dagger for the backstab damage, just because it's awesome. I do like dual wielding on this guy because of the procs, but obviously that's pretty much going to be up to you at that point. This one has the Simp Strike 7 on it, but if you get the Great Staff of Power, that's Simp Strike 8. So you won't need that. I just got some basic stuff here, so nothing too out of the ordinary. Sitting right at about 17.5k HP. I'll never use the pet ever. And I got a whole bag of clickies just to fill up, you know, just kind of fodder buffs, but pretty basic setup. See how there's so many people here. I don't know if they just like hang out here or if they like they're waiting out like a timer, or if they're like, hey, I'm gonna hang out here and wait for my friends to come do. I have no idea. You see this a lot at like popular areas. Okay, we made it. We made it. So another great thing about this class trio is the skip option, which is basically having the rogue in there. You can skip every single creature that you don't want to fight. So we are going to run through the tomb real fast and get all the way up to the last 4 dragons, and then we're going to fight the sleeper. But I've done Plane of Time with this guy. I've done Quorum with this guy. Obviously I didn't do Zeb or anything like that, but I do know that this guy is incredibly fun. This was the one that I probably played the most out of all the characters, just because I was just getting started and this is what I chose. So this was what I kind of got my feet wet with on the actual server itself. So it holds a very special place to me. But also being able to skip all of this content, getting to the names that you actually want to fight, is a huge win. This can take a lot longer to do if you're not able to skip past all this stuff. Especially in places like, you know, Vexthal, It doesn't really help you in like places like Plane of Time or anything, but definitely helps in the places that have like huge HP mobs that you've got to fight through to get to stuff. The planes, Plane of Hate, Plane of Fear, Plane of Sky, and of course all the different elemental planes. You can kind of skip through everything to get to the very end. So you've got poison strikes going for 10k, you've got life strikes going for 7k, you've got prismatic strikes, you've got touch of the curse hitting for 13k. I mean, there's just so many stuff going on here that just hits for a ton of damage. And don't get me wrong, there are characters out there that do a lot more DPS for sure. It's just that this guy's, it directly comes right back into him in the form of health. So it's not just the glass cannon aspect of it, like you're actually getting that back for sustain. So it's a really good trio. Like I said though, the only downfall would be if you run into something that's like really magic immune. Because again, your health and your survivability does rely solely on your ability to slurp their health. I tossed a Sunstrike in there for 17k almost, just for a good flavor here. I've got some new items I went ahead and picked up. So I guess I could replace that real fast. I think I've got some stuff in that too, yeah. So this is going to give me should be an ultra boost to my fire damage. So we'll test that right now. And then of course I've got the new ring, but that's only enchanted right now. And a shield that should do ice damage, but that's still base right now. So I've got a couple of things to level up just from, I guess, the last month or so that I haven't played this character. So I mean, I didn't see Sunstrike do like 100,000 damage or anything. Let me see. Yeah, it's still doing about the same. So maybe it doesn't add that much, but it says like 350% or something, which I'm pretty sure that wasn't 350 or 300%. So we'll see. I mean, you can definitely tell when it hits, but I think a lot of that's also the Sim Strike going off. Because every one of these that I hit with also, you know, gives me that Prismatic Strike 8. So that's a huge amount of damage too. And of course you can finish off the creature as well with Finishing Blow. It's not as jaw-dropping as the Bard, you know, being able to just take everything, hitting it at once, and then singing it to death, but it's definitely another option if you wanted to do a little bit more sustain. This guy can fight things that the Bard can't, just because of healing and stuff, so it just kind of depends on your playstyle. And I'm willing to bet that this guy would be able to stand toe to toe with the hardest content, with those Augs to get him the shielding and blocking and all that stuff. So it just really depends on what you're looking for. I was debuffed. So we'll pop our buffs on real fast, just everything we can. This guy went a little clicky crazy just because, like, I think it's really cool to have every clicky that you can. So I tried to get a whole bag of just everything that I could find that was a clicky. Some of the stuff kind of doubles up. That is just the cure. That's my heal. Alright, so we're good there. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool if they let me in, huh? Alright, Caraferm, let's go. This one also, if you're doing like Temple of Rashawn or Rashawn's Peak, something like that, I don't know if this is the flex. I think it's going to be, but there are times when I'm like, man, this guy's got a lot of HP. I'm going to go in there and get me a drink real fast, because for the most part, as long as you don't get slowed, you're not going to die. Your guy is going to be able to recuperate enough HP just based off just your attacks to where you're going to be just fine. But some of the harder mobs you do have to actually cast your life spikes on. But as you can see, I'm sitting at 98% mana right now, because these are like level 15 and 9 life spiked spells that just get boosted up from the spell power, so you can just blast them non-stop. And then back onto the sleeper. You've got some other cool little things. You can do Volatile Mana Blaze, you can do Improved Twin Cast, Frenzied Devastation. Focus allows you to get resisted less. These two, Cryo and Pyro, just increase your fire and ice damage. There's just a whole bunch of stuff. Unholy Ore increases, and Leech Curse, they increase the amount that you're going to be doing with your taps, you know, based off of your procs. So we'll probably go to 50%, and then we'll start doing some cooldowns. Alright, so even though these are AoEs, what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and use these to just go crazy on him. So we'll pop Improved and Frenzied Devastation, and we'll start going to town. So I know one of the big things on this guy is not to let him, you know, summon in his little buddies or whatever. You're not going to really have to worry about that too much with this guy. He can definitely put out the damage whenever you need him to. So you will see some mana coming down on that, and that's just because it like doubles or triples your mana consumption that you're using for your spells on Frenzied. So you will have a little bit of a hit on that. Luck is with you. So we got more stuff I can give out in the bazaar. But yeah, all in all, Trio is extremely powerful. The SK, obviously, element of it is great. It gives you some options that maybe a Paladin wouldn't give you, such as the extra damage and the proc itself. Instead of having to rely on heals alone, your heals come from the damage that you do. So you're going to put out a little more damage this way. And paired with the Rogue, I mean, you're going to be able to just skip all the content, get right to the bosses, get right to work, and it's extremely fun. So this is another trio that I really like, and I've got a whole bunch more that I'm looking forward to doing some reviews on. So, but once again, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.